Good afternoon. This is Pamela, and you are listening to Watchmen on the Pod. We are going to begin a book tonight. The Lord has placed it upon my heart to read, so I bought it yesterday. And I am going to begin to read it. This is something that is very important, quite frankly, for the entire Western Church especially. And this book is entitled Divorce and Remarriage, the Trojan Horse Within the Church. About the book. Joseph and Patricia know well the heartache and the loss of a loved one by death and separation. Both have been happily married and widowed. Married to each other late in life, both families have been active in ministry and found themselves searching for God's plan within the heartache. As a result, life brought about all new situations, adjustments, and yes, problems. These circumstances have required a new focus and time to reflect. Their ministry and literature is influenced by their own personal experiences. About the author, Dr. Joseph A. Webb, Patricia Lane Webb. Joseph is an ordained minister, evangelist, author, counselor, and pastor-teacher. He continues to preach and teach seminars across the USA and the world, in person and through his extensive library of media teaching. His ministry experience and heartfelt interest in the church's response to marriage and family crisis is the driving force behind the ministry. This book was copyrighted in 2008 by Joseph A. Webb, Ph.D. and Ph.D., and Patricia L. Webb, Ph.D., and it is called Divorce and Remarriage, the Trojan Horse Within the Church. Whom shall we then believe? It was printed in the United States of America. All rights reserved solely by the author. The author guarantees all contents are original and do not infringe upon the legal rights of any other person or work. No part of this book may be reproduced in any form without the permission of the author. The views expressed in this book are not necessarily those of the publisher. Unless otherwise indicated, Bible quotations are taken from the King James Version of the Bible and the Message, copyright 1993, 1994, and 1995 by Eugene H. Peterson. The Holy Bible, the New Living Translation, copyright 1996, Tyndale House Publishers, Inc., Wheaton, Illinois, and the Living Bible, copyright 1971, Tyndale House Publishers, Inc., Wheaton, Illinois, and the Amplified Bible, copyright 1965, 1987, the Zondervan Corporation and the Lockman Foundation. And let's begin. Divorce and Remarriage, the Trojan Horse Within the Church. Whom shall we then believe? By Joseph A. Webb, Ph.D. and Ph.D., and Patricia L. Webb, Ph.D. Preface. In the February 2001 issue of Charisma magazine, Jack Hayford, gifted pastor, teacher, and speaker, posed the question, do marriage vows matter? He went on to say, it is a question that sorely needs confronting in the church today. He said, it is confrontation needed to face down a mindset that, if left unchanged, will bring an onslaught of hellish delusions. Linda S. Mintle, Ph.D., referred to this statement by Jack Hayford in an article in June 2001 issue of Charisma magazine entitled, When the Vow Breaks. She said it's time for Christians to rethink divorce. Has the church taken on a secular view? Too often, yes. Dr. Mental went on to say that blur between secular and Christian views begins in the mind and heart. When we entertain the lies of our culture, we become disillusioned. Lies built on lies. They work on our feelings and eventually alter our relationships. Over time, we fall out of love and excuse those who do the same. According to Dr. Mental, the consequences of such thinking are divorce becomes the solution to unhappiness or lost passion. Marriage is no longer seen as a covenant, but as a breakable contract. Happiness is the ultimate end. Her solution was clear and simple. We have entered into a holy covenant before God with another person. Good spouse, bad spouse. Our mindset should be till death do us part, not till I'm unhappy. The purpose of this book is to expose in a non-judgmental way where the church is today in dealing with the divorce and remarriage issue. It will also explain how we arrived at this juncture and give a clear distinction regarding the secular and Christian worldviews on this vital subject. The bottom line will be, whom shall we then believe? The answer to this question will determine where the church will find itself and what influence it will have in shaping society in a godly, biblical way in the decades to come. Howbeit, when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak, and he will show you things to come. He shall glorify me, for he shall receive of mine, and shall show it unto you. All things that the Father hath are mine. Therefore said I, that he shall take of mine, and shall show it unto you. The Gospel of John, chapter 16, verses 13 through 15. May God bless you as you study. Acknowledgements. The time-consuming work of writing and rewriting a book can only be appreciated by those who have experienced it themselves. Those few know well the value of having competent help in a project like this. Reverend Clarence Lane, our son, was the first person to challenge us to rewrite The Trojan Horse, an 18-page booklet. Mrs. Cindy Wilson, Charles Lane, and Jessica Lane came to our rescue with computer expertise and patience to see this task to its completion. Additional extensive help was given by our two dear fellow workers and friends, Dr. Edward Ware and his wife Bonnie of Aquila and Priscilla Ministries, DeLange, Florida. Their unique ministry is one of encouraging pastors. A former college classmate and retired businessman, Dan Bullhouse, has been a continuous support in editing and encouragements. We thank God for the committed talents of these dear friends, Joseph A. Webb and Patricia L. Webb. Table of Contents. Introduction. Chapter 1, Teachings of the Early Church on Marriage, Divorce, and Remarriage. Chapter 2, Exposing the Enemy in the Camp. Chapter 3, The Reformers, Aramis, the Trojan Horse. Chapter 4, The Devastation of Divorce and Remarriage. Chapter 5, Clear Bible Passages on Divorce and Remarriage. Chapter 6, Understanding Biblical Covenants. Chapter 7, clarifying other doctrinal truths. Chapter 8, where do we go from here? Chapter 9, conclusion, and then the bibliography. And I am going to stop that there. I know I'm getting very excited. I can't wait to dig into it. But as I was reading, I had a check in my spirit, and I have got to write Dr. Lane and his wife, Webb and his wife, and I have got to ask their permission to be able to read this online. So I'm going to do that first. I love you all so very, very much. I do pray with all of my heart that you will stay tuned to hear the reading of this book. I love you all. Keep your eyes on Jesus. Keep your nose in the book. Oh, and embed the Word of God upon the tablets of your heart. You have a great night. Bye-bye.